Today, we're going to be going over the rarest items in every Call of Duty. From stuff you had to grind for, to things you had to pay for, stuff Activision straight up deleted from their game, or even never actually intended to release in the first place. So, let's dive in. We're going to start this one off with good old Call of Duty 4. Back before skins and calling cards or any other forms of customization, we just had simple camo unlocks via headshots. Sound familiar? However, in addition to all the base camos, COD 4 introduced the first gold camo, only available on select weapons, for collecting all the other camos for that specific weapon class. There was the gold AK-47, the gold Uzi, the gold M10, the gold M60, and the gold Dragunov. And while by today's standards, these grinds are pretty tame, at the time, these were probably the most rare to earn in-game things. Now, there's an honorable mention to the Golden Deagle too, but unlike the others, it wasn't tied to any challenges. Instead, it was just given to everyone by default once you reach level 55. But still pretty cool. Next up, we're gonna skip up to Modern Warfare 2, which introduced us to calling cards and emblems. So now, when you killed somebody, you could express yourself with a bit more than just a slightly offensive gamer tag. Each calling card and emblem unlocked via specific challenges, and some of them were just absurd. There was the infected calling card, which requires you to be knifed by someone currently using the card themselves. Which, this is a neat idea, but in practice, it just means it's almost impossible to get unless you coordinate with the enemy team in the pre-game lobby. Other super rare calling cards included End of the Line, which was awarded for your 5th nuke. A feat that not many regular players earned even once, let alone 5 times. But by far, the rarest item in MW2 actually has to be the iconic spinning 10th prestige emblem. And the reasoning is that this thing actually wasn't obtainable in game, but the only way to get it was with unlock tools. It's a great looking emblem, but the drawback to using it meant that everyone knew you didn't actually grind for it and just hacked your way to the top. Or more accurately, stumbled upon someone giving them out for free in a modded lobby, which was rampant during the final months of that game's life cycle. Black Ops 1 released the very next year, shifting away from the challenge-based calling card system and adopting a custom emblem editor, which meant that they were far less prestigious. However, Black Ops did see the return of the gold camo with even more strict guidelines. In order to earn it, you needed to reach prestige 14 and then purchase the camo per weapon for 50,000 COD points earned by getting XP. So it was still doable, but you definitely had to grind for it, and you knew that when someone was in your lobbies that had it, that they had earned that thing. Now, Modern Warfare 3 the next year also featured gold camos, but they were way more accessible. Instead, the most rare things in this game were actually a part of COD Elite, a premium subscription service that Activision was experimenting with. Subscribers to the service were given early access to DLC maps, a few premium features on their website, and a couple small cosmetic additions. This included golden clan tags to show off to everyone in the lobby that you were special, because you could afford $50 a year. And speaking of special, there were also 2 exclusive camos locked behind the COD Elite subscription, the Winter Camo and Marine, and the latter of which was even more exclusive because it was only available on the Wii version of the game. Now, I say that because I don't know how many people played this game on the Wii and bought Activision's premium DLC pass back in the day, but I'm willing to bet it probably wasn't a lot. Unfortunately, COD Elite has since been shut down, which means that there's a finite amount of these things out in the wild. And if you didn't get them back in the day, there's actually no way to earn them now. Now for Black Ops 2, we're gonna go with another 2 camos, this time exclusive to those who pre-ordered other games. First, if you pre-ordered COD Ghost specifically at GameStop, you'd be given an exclusive camo to use featuring the iconic Ghost logo on a black background. But possibly more rare than that is actually the pre-order bonus for the next Call of Duty game, where in addition to in-game rewards you'd earn in Ghosts, you'd also get the Advanced Warfare camo way back in BO2 as well. Now, neither camo is particularly eye-catching, but they were each available for a short amount of time and required you to drop 60 bucks on a completely different game at a specific store. So I'd call that pretty rare. Now this is clearly where we're getting into the era of the pre-order bonus, because COD Ghost's most rare item is also a pre-order bonus, and this is for buying the game through the Microsoft Store. Upon pre-ordering, you were given a code for the Xbox pack featuring a patch and the Spectrum camo. And the rumor has it that there were only a total of 500 of these codes given out. So just for that reason, it's probably one of the most limited items in COD history. Next, Advanced Warfare. Introducing a little thing called supply drops. Now these loot boxes that would give you these 3 random rewards, ranging from character customization items to weapon blueprints or XP bonuses. And as the game evolved, they also started introducing brand new weapons to supply drops too, making those base weapons incredibly rare in their own right. But Advanced Warfare actually has one item even rarer than that. And in fact, it's the most rare thing so far on the list. In 2015, Sledgehammer released the Optic Whiteout skin, which was a white and green exosuit with a big Optic logo slapped across the chest and helmet. Now the catch was, these skins were only given to the current members of Optic, totaling only 21 in existence. That said though, eventually they did make a separate black Optic skin that was available to other players, but it was in supply drops, because of course it was. But if you thought the supply drop system in Advanced Warfare was bad, wait until I tell you about Black Ops 3, which had limited time camos that were only obtainable in supply drops. Let me really break that down again. There were camos that you could get for a limited time, usually only lasting about a week, but only if you randomly rolled them in your supply drops. Now, most were linked to a holiday like Bloody Valentine and Luck of the Irish for Valentine's Day and St. Paddy's Day, respectively. But there were also a decent amount of really solid camos that were only available for seemingly random weeks throughout the year, like Cherry Fizz, Empire, Permafrost, or Into the Void. But beyond all that, there was also another camo that may actually be even more rare, and that's the COD XP camo, which was only given to those who attended COD XP 2016. If you weren't around back then, COD XP was their big annual Call of Duty convention, similar to COD Next, except it was open to the public. So for this one, you were at least able to obtain it without literally needing to get onto an esports team. Next up is Infinite Warfare, where for the most part, they were thankfully dialing back on a bit of the supply drop exclusive items. However, there was one exclusive weapon unlockable if you played both IW and BO3 before the end of 2016, and that was the Hailstorm Thunder BP. And while again, this was given out free to players, the fact that it was only available during such a small window that's now closed means that it's impossible for anyone jumping into the game after its initial release. Now, during that same year, Modern Warfare Remastered released, and it started out as a complete faithful remaster to the original COD 4. However, if you fast forward a few months, and they started adding in a ton of cosmetic items through supply drops. But unlike supply drops in the past years, they now had a collection system where you could spend points to unlock specific items, and if you get everything in that certain collection, you'd gain access to a premium item. But on top of that, if you complete all collections in a season, you would earn the Operation Bounty, which was generally a character head or a camo. And now, these were no easy feat. Each one required you to complete 64 collections, and inside every collection was between 5 and 10 items that would cost you a few thousand armory credits that you only earned by burning duplicate supply drop items. So, needless to say, we're pretty confident in saying these final rewards like Price and the original Graves are some of the most rare things in game. But, as an honorable mention, I'll also bring up the Gift Unwrapped and Ugly Sweater camos that were similarly only available for a limited time, but required you to complete challenges on the map, Win or Crash, which also disappeared from the game upon the event ending. Meaning, like most things on this list, they are unavailable to be earned today. Then was COD World War II, which had a couple of rare items, like some limited time camera rewards like Beach Shot or Devil's Candy, gifted out to players during the Days of Summer and Halloween events. And there were also a few that you could grind for, like Blood Tiger and Royalty Tiger, earned for reaching Master Prestige 500 and 1000. But for something rare but still obtainable, you have Chrome Tiger, the final mastery camo earned by prestiging every gun 4 times and completing all other mastery challenges. It's like a mastery camo for your mastery camos. Similarly, Black Ops 4 had all the greatest hits of rare items. Dark Matter mastery camo grind, check. Supply drop weapons, check. Pre-order bonuses, check. But on top of all that, Black Ops 4 also had some pretty difficult requirements for unlocking all the characters in Blackout that I want to highlight. For instance, to unlock Reznov, you needed to randomly find his hat in the world, of which there was only 1 per session, then get a 200-meter long sniper rifle kill, which actually wouldn't be that crazy of an ask, but you also needed to then go on to finish top 5 in solos or top 2 in quads. Any one of these requirements would have been fine by themselves, but doing all 3 of them in one game was just awful. And it wasn't even just this one character, but this one might have been the worst. Hudson, who wasn't part of the same unlock system and was instead added as a tier 200 operator on the first season's battle pass. And this was not only BO4's first ever battle pass, but it was also the entire franchise's first battle pass. So you really hadn't balanced out how difficult it was to progress through the whole thing, and it resulted in one of the longest grinds in series history, meaning that many didn't even come close to completing the whole pass before it was removed the next season. You can still get lucky and find him randomly in the store every now and then, but chances are, if you ran into a Hudson skin back then, you're probably about to play against the sweatiest player you can imagine. Modern Warfare 2019 marked the reboot of the Modern Warfare franchise. A more gritty and realistic take on the setting, well, at least for a little bit. And one of the least talked about new additions to the game were customizable watches. Now you could earn these things through the battle pass, store bundles, or challenges, and they would display things like your KD, how many steps you've taken, or even a little Tamagotchi pet. But one of the rarest watches in the game actually came from a promo with Doritos. During December of 2019, you could tweet at Doritos on Twitter and be DM'd a code for an exclusive bundle featuring a calling card, glow-in-the-dark charm, and an exclusive watch. Of course, by this point, they aren't sending out any more DMs, so if you don't have it, unfortunately, you missed your chance. Now, Black Ops Cold War is actually a fun one. Back during the lead up to the game's reveal, Treyarch held an ARG called Pawn Takes Pawn, in which the community worked together to solve puzzles and figure out a mystery surrounding the game. This eventually led to the actual reveal of Cold War. As a reward for taking part, everyone who went to the ARG website and linked their Activision accounts got an exclusive calling card, reserved only for the most dedicated COD fans. So if back in the day, COD Ghosts was the year of the pre-order bonus, then Vanguard was the year of the brand deal. This is where Call of Duty partnered up with a handful of brands to create in-game content only available if you spent money on other products. For instance, if you bought these Vanguard engraved control freaks, you got an exclusive in-game weapon charm. Then if you buy enough Doritos, you can earn 2 emblems, 1 charm, and the Crown of Crunch calling card. And of course, even Mountain Dew got in on it with their own operator skin. Now, there's no real way of knowing how many of these items ever were redeemed, but like all other promos, they're closed now. So however many exist in the wild is as many as there ever will be. Now, we know Modern Warfare 2 dropped the following year, and its most rare items got to go to the Nick Mercs and Tim the Tapman operators. See, back in Modern Warfare 2, Activision wanted to collab with 2 of the most popular creators in the COD space. They then created 2 new bundles based on Nick and Tim. However, shortly after release, Nick Mercs was involved in a controversy resulting in his skin being pulled from the store, which then led Tim to requesting they remove his bundle as well. Now, Activision then honored this request, thus deleting both bundles forever. All in all, they only lasted for a little over a week, but those who bought them during that brief window can still use them in Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone, making them probably the most rare skin that you can still run into to this day. Then after Modern Warfare 2 is, you guessed it, Modern Warfare 3, which carried forward all of last year's items. So a lot of the rare ones there can also apply here too. But MW3 had one new feature that MW2 didn't, and that was in ranked play. If you finish this season in the top 250, you'd be given an exclusive operator skin. And obviously, this means that only 250 of these skins are awarded every season, and it's highly likely that if you win it on one season, you may end up getting it the next. So the total number of people with these top 250 skins is still likely well under 1,000. Now, finally, that brings us to the current game, Black Ops 6, where they actually just might have the rarest item in Call of Duty. Now, Black Ops 6 still includes those top 25 skins, but now also a coveted champion skin, awarded to the top player every season. That means that there's literally only one person in the world who has this skin, and they are hands down the best Call of Duty player on the planet. Or they're probably hacking. Let's be real. And there you have it. That is the most rare item in every Call of Duty. So my question is to you, what's the rarest item that you own? I really appreciate the support. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like, subscribe. If you want to watch another video, go click over there. We'll see you in the next one.